Hey mamas, happy Wednesday and welcome to the weekly chill pill. My name is Nadine and I am sharing simple tricks and tips and tools that I have learned over the years and mindset shifts and things like that hopefully will help you as well, just like they have helped me and they still are continuing to help me. Because a lot of these mindset shifts, and that's one we're talking about today, which I still struggle with sometimes, and I know that a lot of you guys out there do too, is like an ongoing daily, weekly thing that we have to address again and again and again. So today we're going to talk about self-love and really kind of exploring why it's so hard to do that. Because I know that a lot of us, myself included, just kind of default to the negative, critical self-talk all the time. And the opposite is actually what you want, because when you can truly celebrate yourself for showing up in the world and just being yourself and doing the things that you're doing, and it doesn't have to be anything spectacular. You're there, you're a great mom to your children, you are doing things in your household that help your family, you're doing all the things, and even if that's on a certain day maybe not insanely large amounts of things, just sipping some oils here, then you are still worth loving yourself, and you are still enough and good enough and all those things. But a lot of times we just don't see that. And I think that oftentimes that comes from too high expectations that we have for ourselves, and we just kind of like put the bar this high and then we try to meet it. And when we don't, then the only way out of that, or the only way to basically get ourselves back up there, is to beat ourselves up. It's just this natural thing that comes to most of us. And what it actually ends up doing is it makes us more, it just makes us sad. And it really makes us more disappointed, because we keep pushing the bar further up, and we're trying to like beat ourselves to, force ourselves to meet it. And when we don't, the cycle continues, and we continue to just beat ourselves up until we have so much on our plate that we just can't handle it anymore. And when we train ourselves to have more self-compassion and more self-love, we actually show up in such a different way. We show up more calm, we show up more confident, we show up in self-trust, which is something I talk about a lot on here, because I find that when you trust your decisions, and when you trust yourself and what you do and the things that you decide for yourself to do, when you trust that, then you are always enough, because you have your own back, right? You're standing behind that decision. And it also eliminates the guilt that we have as moms, which is the complete opposite of self-love again, right? So recently I read the book, The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins, which is amazing and highly recommended. And a lot of it, actually, the whole thing really, is rooted in how to create more self-love for yourself, as really it speaks to everyone. But as a stay-at-home mom, I took it for my own experience in my own life, and I realized that I don't do that nearly enough. So she recommends for everyone to just start the day by getting up, looking in the mirror, crazy hair, sleepy eyes and everything, and flaws and whatnot, and just give yourself a high five, because it's like there's a physiological effect to it, because a high five is a very positive motion. So if we high five ourselves, we automatically have a feeling of, or a sense of celebration with ourselves, which can strengthen the love that we actually, and the compassion that we show ourselves. So it's funny that ever since I read that book, I have never given myself a high five before this book, first of all, but I notice that when I do the high five in the mirror, even now I'm seeing myself high fiving, it's almost like a mirror. There's this feeling that it creates, and it's there's literally no way to do it without having a smile on your face. So there's this connection that you have to yourself, and for me that was a pretty new thing. I high five my kids, I high five my husband all the time, but myself, not really so much. I am the kind of person who, when I don't watch out, I will sit down at the end of the day and list every single thing that I didn't get done, and completely forget about the things that I did get done. And another problem there is that, we just tend to kind of overschedule and over stuff our to-do list every single day. And of course, you might get 15 things done, but if you had 100 things on your list, then obviously it feels like you got nothing done. So those are certain things that we need to change as well. But what's really interesting about this high five movement and that feeling of celebrating yourself is that you now notice, once you get in the habit of that, and this is something I wanted to bring here today, is you just start seeing high five moments in your day. Not even at the end of the day, like, oh my God, let's sit down and, really figure out what did I get done and how can I celebrate myself. That's something that I have done before, but now it's like in the middle of the day, I'm like, ooh, that was totally worth a high five. So, and then I literally walk up to the mirror and do that. And yesterday I had a really great example. I am probably the only German who is always late, always late. And I'm trying to change that because it's part of my inability to, let certain things go and just do something when I said I would do it, which is keeping a promise to myself. But yesterday we had a doctor's appointment and I had to fill out paperwork beforehand, and they asked me to bring it filled out to the office, which is normally something that I would try to do on the fly, maybe in the last minute, if even that, or maybe, like in the waiting room and stuff like that. So I actually had that done on time yesterday. I had it done in the morning. And I also left the house on time with 3 kids in tow, and we made it on time. To me, personally, this may not be a big deal for you at all. But to me personally, that is a gigantic accomplishment. And I totally gave myself a high five for that. And as small as that might feel, that act of celebrating myself for doing something that I find extraordinary is just a great feeling, and it creates more self-compassion, creates more self-love. So I wanted to kind of give you a couple of oils as well that you can use in order to support your journey on to more self-love. And a few of them kind of came to mind when I thought about it, because so I think self-love is just more than just caring for yourself. You actually show more self-compassion. I mean, self-care is important and it's great, but self-love is more the act of believing in yourself as well, where you're like, I have my own back and I believe that I am good and that I am enough, and it goes way beyond self-care. So some oils that can help set the stage, if you will, right? So it's not that they're not going to magically have you believe in yourself, but they can set the stage for your mind to be open to those new beliefs that you're trying to form, which could also be called affirmations, but it has to be affirmations that you actually believe. So if you're saying, I'm the best person in the world, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not, then your brain, it's not going to change, right? So you have to be making those affirmations approachable. So for example, you can say, I can see how today I was enough. Something that is really like reasonable for you, for your brain to believe, especially when you're in the stage of like completely beating yourself up every single day. So a couple of oils to help with that are mainly oils that support your hormones and your stress and emotions, so that you can be calm and actually see the things that are amazing about you, right? So I've got my Endoflex here. This is a thyroid support that I put on my thyroid every single day. We've got, of course, the OG Stress Away. You guys hear me talk about this all the time. There's a big reason for that. Stress Away is my absolute favorite oil. I think it's my favorite oil. There's clary sage. I'm actually going to talk about this in my story this week too. Hormone supporting oil, again, balance and everything that you need in order to, like, when you're stress free, you can see the good things easier, right? I also brought an oil called Acceptance, which is super important for emotional health, especially when it comes to self-love, self-compassion, self-acceptance, right? It smells amazing, and when you use it aromatically, meaning putting a drop in your hand, and then just put a scent over your nose and deeply breathe it in, you will calm down, but you will also open your mind to the fact that you can love yourself and you can accept yourself. And then I brought gratitude because it's one of my favorite oils. I use it every morning when I do my journaling and when I plan my day, and I write a little line of gratitude. And it just amplifies that feeling. And when you're grateful, you are also more open to loving yourself. So Self-love means you believing in yourself. Self-love also means to put yourself first and celebrate yourself every day, even on the crappy days. And I talk about this all the time too, where at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how shitty your day was. There is always something that you can find in that day that was amazing. And when you put that at the forefront of your life every single day, then you will start to automatically filter things through that lens and see more of those amazing things that you do every single day. It may not be all the things you wanted to do, but maybe you also have your expectations way too high. Ask me how I know. Self-love means you keep your promises to yourself. For example, when you say that you want to work out in the morning because it's good for you and it's an act of self-love, then you do that, because then you're keeping that promise that you made to yourself, which creates more self-love. Because you're loving your body when you do a healthy workout, right? The same goes for food. When you say that you want to eat healthy most of the time, keep that promise to yourself, because you're loving yourself when you do that. Self-love means that you love yourself no matter what, through it all, because only then you can also forgive yourself for the things that you may not have done great or that you may have fallen short on. But it also is easier to love others better when you love yourself first. Take your time to use these oils. Like once you start using these oils, I want to make sure that you take your time to actually put them on. Like in the morning, take 5 to 10 minutes and just make it a ritual of adding your oils to your day, because it can really create an act of self-love in itself just by taking that time. And I just showed you all these oils, and then I would encourage you to try the high five in the mirror. It's been so fun to do that. And all you need to do is wake up in the morning, walk up to the mirror and give yourself a high five. And you will feel maybe weird at first, but not for long, because it's a really, really great feeling. And it can really help increase that feeling and those acts and that sense of self-love that you can give to yourself. And I would also encourage you to find some affirmations that you can believe. Write some of them down and then use one of these oils. And if you don't have the oils yet, completely okay. You know that you can get them through me. So just send me a DM or comment on this video if you like. You can also go into the link in my bio, and there's a link directly to them if you are ready to buy them. If not, you probably just want to DM me and see which ones are best for you to grab. But yeah, if you do have them already, make sure you make it a ritual. Sit down in the morning, use your oils, do a couple affirmations that kind of, that aren't just about whatever, but make sure that you find affirmations that incorporate self-love. I am enough. I can see how I am enough. You know, if I am enough is too much for you right now. And then just try to remember when your negative voice comes on in your mind, because it happens all day, every day to all of us. But when that voice comes on, be mindful of it and say, hey, stop. I am doing enough. I'm doing a good enough job, because you are, and you are worth loving yourself first. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful to you. Please share this video if you know a mama who needs to hear this as well. Again, if you are interested or ready to getting these essential oils that I have, please send me a DM. Let me know in some capacity so that we can chat about what you need the most and where you want to start. And then watch my stories later, because I am going to have, I'm going to make this emotional roller. I think I posted about it yesterday and then I didn't make it yesterday. But this is a really big roller that I got from Young Living before. It has crystals inside of it, and I am going to make a power emotional roller, which is also another act of self-love. So this goes really well with this video, and that's an oil that that's a blend that you can do every single day just to support your entire being, your emotions, your stress levels, your anxiety, every single day, and it smells so very good. So I'll share that later on in my stories. And if you're interested in knowing which oils go in there, just let me know. I can create a bundle for you. And yeah, you can just grab those oils straight up. Alrighty, guys. Let me find the close button. And yeah, we'll be back here next week with another topic. See you then.